Once again, I'm Doug Poy, 4 Tamarack Road. I'm referring to, many of my remarks are going to refer to your meeting of April 25th. Your attorney at that time did say that when the issue about the Booster Club funds was raised, he did say that the more than $1,900 could be returned to the Booster Club by a resolution of this board. No resolution was forthcoming at that time. I do want to state, though, that this was not a game, an athletic game between opposing high schools, where the gate receipts understandably go to the Board of Education that's hosting the game. This was a fundraiser.
No, Mr. Poy, it was a sanctioned NJSIA.
Stop the clock, please.
It was a sanctioned basketball game throughout the day.
Well, we have different perspectives on that.
It was a sanctioned NJSIA varsity and junior varsity basketball games that were played throughout the day.
All right, then, if that's the case, then I will rephrase that. But I still believe that if the Booster Club was in some way running this, then consideration should be given to that, since the board attorney had said that such was possible. The issue of your director of security, item H, which you discussed at length this evening, it did suddenly pop up on the agenda, and Mrs. Chanley did explain why that was necessary. But there's an interesting history here. You transferred the director of security from the business administrator to the superintendent's office, direct line of authority. Now you are essentially proposing to eliminate that position, creating a second position, which the attorney said could easily be modified in terms of a job description. So to me, you're just pretending to do something when the real objective is to fire Mr. Pirro. Mr. Pirro's been here a long time. He was an officer in the Monroe Police. I think Mr. Pirro has a very good relationship with students and therefore is a very good director of security. There were 2 things that I really regretted seeing. Well, actually 3 things. The president of this board made a remark to Mrs. Fabiano, and I'm not saying this, Mrs. Fabiano, in any way to embarrass you, but about sharing confidential board information. I thought that comment was completely inappropriate. Even if she had, that is not something that should have been stated in a public board meeting. That showed no respect whatsoever for a fellow member of the board. Your vice president stated that she had shared that confidential information with a member of the public who is not on this board. Her action is a violation of the code of ethics. Yet you totally ignored it. There was no comment made about it, no mention whatsoever of an investigation. And speaking of investigations, I've heard that one of the reasons Mr. Gorski is suspended is that you want to conduct an investigation. Well, is that investigation being done? Has it started? You extended his suspension for some reason. The attorney stated that he had been working with Mr. Gorski to reword the resolution of your organizational meeting about bill payments. I really don't understand what this suspension was all about. How long is it going to last? What is the point of it? And finally, when you cut off Mr. Gorski in that April 25th meeting, as he was attempting to respond to comments from the public, showed a lack of respect to the man and to his position. And I would like for, I know my time is up, but I would like for this leadership to show more respect to your fellow board members as well as to the people that sit at the table with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poy. And just to reiterate, obviously we cannot discuss personnel information. You should know that as a former board president. However, your statements are not correct. There is no intention on firing anybody this evening. So again, as we've said, people come up to this podium and use it to spread disinformation, to create a divide in our community, and that is what we need to stop. These are personnel matters, and unfortunately, we cannot explain them to you, and you know the reasons why. But to make false accusations against this board and these board members is not fair to us.